Hello, good afternoon on this beautiful, I believe maybe even the hottest bank holiday day
ever in the whole of recorded modern history.
In the whole of time immemorial. Is that such a word?
Immemorial, I think.
Whatever. And here I am, Dr. Cheryl Chapman in my office, but you can see the beautiful sunshine. I've been outside today, had a bit of nature, if you know what I mean. And here I am, Dr. Cheryl Chapman, and here is
Dr. Marion Bevington. I think I'm on that side.
I always get it the wrong way around. Always, every single time. So here we are today, and we are the wise questions that have come from our Find Your Why Foundation communities of the wise women in the Live Love Laugh Lounge and or the wise men in the Find Your Why Man Cave. So the question today is
why?
Marion, why do I need a why? Why do you need a why? That's the question of the day.
Well, your why is your purpose. What's the purpose of you being here, or what's the meaning that you've got that you want to portray in life? So it's anything that follows the word I am like this because that's your why. So a lot of people have a why that's like, that I've got my family, I've got my kids, I've got my grandkids. So when you're in the role of being a mom or a nan or an auntie or a sister, so you have these roles, but are those roles actually your why? Because otherwise, wouldn't we be all the same? So I'm an auntie and I'm a great auntie. I know you can't tell, can you? But they're just roles that I have, and they don't really differentiate me from any other individual woman who's got nieces, nephews, and great nieces and nephews. So all of this understanding of your why being that the role that you're playing in life or the circumstances that you found yourself in your life, to me, that's not enough. There needs to be something else on top of that. So how am I going to be Marion as the auntie or the great auntie or the sister or whatever the role is that I'm playing? I want to play that role as me, as the individual Marion who I am. And I think for me, that's what my why is all about, because, I can do those roles with my eyes closed. Probably not do them very well in some people's measurements, but still I do. But it's, for me, what makes me happy and what gets me out of bed in the morning and what lights me up, what actually helps me to stay motivated and makes me want to do more, is my why is about having fun. And so when I know that I'm going to be in a place where there is joy and there is fun and there is enjoyment, then I know that I'm moving in the right direction for my why. So for me, it's like the fuel that you put in your engine.
Yes, and I think there's been a little bit on the connection just there. Let's say hello to Marv. Hello, Marv Johnson-Jones. Hope you're well, lovely. Haven't seen you for a while. Thank you for joining. We have another one who hasn't made a comment yet. So if you'd like to make a comment, that's it. Then we're doing us live. Welcome. Hey, we believe ever on a bank holiday Monday or early bank holiday. And we're just discussing, why do you need a why? And of course, what is your why? Maz has just said, why is your purpose? It's bigger than a kind of label or a title that you've got, like, I'm an auntie. The why is also, why are you here, really? That's the question that a lot of our lovely ladies and lovely men who are in the Find Your Why Foundation ask. What is the purpose? What am I here for? What is this all about? These might be the questions that, you're asking yourself. And what the odds against the actual chance, the odds against being alive right now is like so many zeros. It's quite unbelievable, really. It's something like 400, then 3 more zeros, 3 more zeros, 3 more zeros, 3 more zeros to 1, whatever that is.
It's 400 gazillion to 1.
Gazillion, yes, we'll have gazillion, yeah. It's 400 gazillion to 1 chance that you're actually alive. So are you actually alive to that you don't like, overeat, overdrink, and then go to bed. Well, maybe for you that feels maybe that is what happens on a bank holiday weekend for you, who knows? Are you here to be miserable? Are you here to enlighten the world? Are you here to be happy? Are you here, as Maz says, to have fun? This is, what is it? What is it you're here for? Or are you here, do you think, for something that's a little bit more grand, I suppose? But whatever it is, whatever's right for you would be right. But of course, why are you here? And more importantly, why is it important to have a why? Well, a why can keep you focused. It can keep you on purpose. For me personally, a why is really good because a why helps you to make decisions in your life. Because if you get an opportunity and then you look at your why and you go, well, the reason why I'm here is this. And if I do that opportunity, will that take me closer to my why? Then you can say yes or you can say no. And if you say no, and then you can just make that decision. No, that isn't. And you can then say quite categorically, that's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. However, it's not in keeping with my why. And guess what? You feel no guilt, no remorse. Don't feel like you have to do what anybody else wants you to do because you just know it's in keeping with your why. And whereas without a why, of course, you have no idea. No idea whether or not that's good, bad, or indifferent for you. So, like me, you might say yes to fucking everything. And then wonder why you have no time in your life. Obviously, I'm getting better at doing that. But, there's this kind of thing where potentially you come from a place of lack, which I know that I used to do heavily. I still have bits of it now. Oh, if I say no to that, what happens if, you go on that huge EastEnders, creation. So I used to say yes to everything. I mean, absolutely yes to everything. Never been single in my life since I was 15. Have all those relationships been good? Looking back, I'm thinking probably not. But there you go. Marva's laughing at me. That's okay. She's used to me. So why else? So Marion's why is to have fun. My why is to help other people to become the people they were born to be. Because quite frankly, I fucked about for 48 years trying to find that why. And so now I feel I'm getting a little bit closer to that. I feel like I definitely have a little bit more focus. And it's feeling good. The couple that are, the family that's staying with me today, they were talking to me about, what are you going to do? I know people, because I like doing that. So I don't need to have a bank holiday as such. I hate it when people do that. So I thought this week. Actually, I used to do this when I used to sell vibrators, but that's a different story. That was somebody else's why, not mine. Why is a why important, Maz? How can I find a why?
How can you find it? Well, you have to come on a retreat or come to our retreat and join the membership group and become part of the community, and we'll help you to do it. It's not the only way, but we know it works.
There are a few ways of finding your why. You can watch YouTube videos. You can read lots of books. Simon Sinek's a master of Start With Why. Thank you, Simon, for helping to inspire us. For me personally, when I read Start With Why, I thought it was a great book, but I thought and a little bit masculine. And so that gave the idea, if you like, to create something that was a little bit more personal as opposed to corporate. And of course, we created the Find Your Why book. We wrote the book and published the book 3 years ago this Christmas. And we know that we've inspired you, Simon, because you've written one too, haven't you, called Find Your Why? That's okay. It's collaboration. Again, there's more ways. I was going to say there's more than one way. It's going to lose all my cat friends though if I say that, aren't I? But you know what I'm saying. What have we got so far? Martha's saying that I must have been awesome at selling vibrators, and I was. Deborah Powell, hello Deborah, how are you? She says she's read the book and loved it. Thank you so much.
I think that's one of the really important messages for today, is because we've got experience with the wise men and the wise women in the community that we've created, just to see how inspired people become and how inspiring actually people become when they do get some clarity on their own why. And it can be quite a heavy process to go through, because we've all conditioned, we've got loads of programs that are telling us what we should be doing, what we should be liking, what we should be not liking, all of these conditions around us that impact us. And when we start to strip them back and start to realize what it is that actually inspires us as an individual person, and not what we're doing because we're conditioned to do it, but because it literally lights us up. We are beings of light. We've got photons inside every single atom, and that's a piece of light. And so the more of our own light we can allow to shine, then I think the closer to the why, to our why we actually are. And it's like it's a bit of a catch-22. When you start moving in a positive direction, you gain more clarity on your why. And as you gain more clarity on your why, it helps you to move in a positive direction more easily. So you can't really do one without the other. And the more we come out of conditioning and the more we allow ourselves to be who we were born to be, then the more light, I think, we shine on everything and everybody around us. And that's what becomes so inspirational to other people, because when we allow ourselves to shine, it gives other people to do this, it gives permission to do the same thing as well. And we know from the results of the retreats that we've had that the outcomes that people are getting after they've done the work is like, it's just incredible. It's easier than they thought it was. It feels better than they thought it was. It brings more pleasure to them, and it inspires other people even more. So, yeah, it's a really, really important bit of kit, this why.
It is. And I like the analogy there, Maz, because it's kind of like you turn into the hottest, brightest day ever.
Yay!
And you light up the world. I like it. Love. So, yeah, the way to find your why really is, well, it depends what you believe in. We believe that you were born with your why. We believe it's part of the journey that you chose before you came here to find your why, to have some unanswered questions maybe. But you can find your why in your past, you can find your why in your present, and you can find your why in your potential possibilities. Don't you just love a little bit of alliteration on a bank holiday Monday? Because your past, we believe you came with your why, so you can find that. And there's many tools that we use. We used a couple of new tools at the last retreat, didn't we, Maz, which was really good to help people really know, uncover what they already know, but they just don't know it's there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we say, isn't it, when you say to people, oh God, you don't know what you're like and you don't know what other people see in you. It's impossible for us to know ourselves as an outsider to knowing me as the insider. It's impossible for me to take those two positions. So I'll never know what other people see about me. But I think what's happening is the more we get to uncover what your why is, the more you start to realize what it is that other people see about you, what other people love about you, what some other people don't love about you, but that's their problem, not yours. Because just by being yourself, the more of you, it's like that word, it's thrown around a lot recently, isn't it? Authenticity, being authentic to yourself. And it's really hard, because as we start to unravel all the conditioning and get rid of it, you start to feel a bit like what we were talking about the other day about loss. You feel it a bit in no man's land, because the suits that we wore, the things that we saw outside of us that we wanted to be, we've put that on, and that's covered the light of who we really are. So as we take all those layers off, you feel a bit lost, because you've never actually got to know yourself, because it's kind of very difficult to do it. But this definitely helps. This really helps us to know who we are, how to shine the light that I'm shining, and what's the impact I want from it, what are the results that I want from it. And all of that helps you to stay in alignment with yourself. And that, again, helps to really empower this why, this driving force that you've got.
Yeah. If Marva and Deborah, if you're still on the call and if you're still watching and we don't know what your name is because we have a mystery watcher, or if you're watching this recording, if you wouldn't mind, it'd be really great if you could share what your why is. What is your why? If you could type that in, that would be great to see. What your versions of your why are.
And if you've got your version of your why, if you feel like you understand what it is, how have you discovered it? Because I think that's important to help people as well. Because there are plenty of us out there who are very lost and don't think that they know their why. So to give people, a few clues to take steps in the right direction. So yeah, that's a really nice thing to ask people to share. So what's your why, and what would you give as advice to somebody who feels like they don't know theirs? How could you help them to find it? Oh, you're frozen. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you will be frozen. Yeah. And the other thing, of course, is there's this why, there's this passion, there's this purpose. There's the intention of what you want to do. Before you leave this planet on whatever plane you might go to, whatever energy, whatever you might turn into or not, as the case may be. But it's also the why are you where you are right now? And then, of course, this is also to do with your past, because, you know, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And, you know, immediately people go, oh, your past, oh, there's all these traumas and everything. And, you know, Marion, you've got a great analogy of what a trauma is for a child, haven't you?
Well, some people say they haven't got trauma, but so they don't understand why their life's quite so shit. But what we know is that everybody's got trauma. Everything is a trauma. And so to think about yourself as a little 3-year-old, and it's a lovely hot sunny day, bank holiday Monday, and you've got your Mr. Whippy and your 99er in your hand as the ice cream van chunters away down the road. And as you go to lick it, and it's a bit soft, and you do that, and it's on the floor. Oh my God, your ice cream and your flake and everything's just on the floor and you can't pick it up because it's really dirty. That's a trauma. Most 3-year-olds would absolutely be completely traumatized by that situation. So we don't know, because we've got this rational conditioning around us. We don't actually really know what the biggest traumas are when we look at them through the eyes of the conditioned society. But when we uncover the feelings, when we start to go inside, when when we're in an unresourceful state, when we've been triggered, if we can identify those feelings, there are ways, and that's what Cheryl and I are brilliant at, is helping to guide you back to what is the core, what's the wound that actually means that that trauma's been anchored, and how can we now not only uncover the trauma, but help to release and to transform it as well, so that in the future, the same sort of shit doesn't trigger you anymore. And that for me has been a real, that's what changed my life. And that's why I love sharing it with other people, because I know it's a life-changing experience when you can begin to heal past traumas. And we don't even always do our own. We can do ancestral past traumas. And if people believe in past lives, there's past traumas in there. So all of that can be healed. We know it can, because it's what we're doing.
Yes, it is. And we love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so the why, the why as in the why are you where you are right now, what's serving you? You probably know that already. And if it's serving you and you enjoy it, then obviously clearly do more of that. And that again comes into the part of, why you're doing what you do. And then the things that are stopping you, so if you've ever procrastinated, I mean, I don't mean like just once. I mean, if it's a regular thing, procrastination, we talked about that the other day. If you've got a fear of rejection, if you've got a fear of failure, if you've got a fear of success, if you know that there's something that's stopping you, there's something that's stopping you, then, it's worth looking into it. Because what we do in order to help people find their why is we help them with an awareness of who they are, where they are, why they are where they are right now. We help them to set intentions, because we're not about, just, praying that life's good. We set them in a tangible intention. And then when we set the intention, what normally happens is the shit shows up. The procrastination, the I'm not good enough, the whatever's out there isn't available to me, I'm different, whatever that is. And then we help them through that process to find out why they feel like that. And then, of course, they can manifest, or as we say, aka
move your ass.
Ways of doing this. Marva's just sharing her why, which looks amazing. Yes, knowing the triggers to overcome them. And her version of her why is to remind people of their greatness. Fabulous why, fabulous. And I know Marva's brilliant at what she does as well. And the great thing is, Marva, and I don't know if you would agree, or anybody else who's in this situation, when you've got your why, as I said, an opportunity comes your way, and now you go, is this actually going to help me to remind people of their greatness? Well, if it's stacking shelves in Sainsbury's, maybe not. It's not the best way of doing that. But if it's an opportunity to stand on a stage, for example, and do a speech or a talk, or to be speaking to a few people in a community environment, then you'll probably say yes. And the thing is, you probably do that without even getting paid for it, because that's if you need to help, you've got to find a way of making sure that you can do that in a sustainable way, which means that you will probably, no doubt, ask for an investment from those people so you can help them. Because just as if, if someone had something to clean your floor and you've got a dirty floor, you'd pay them for the product that they're giving you. So, that's another way to look at your why. So your why, of course, is bigger than you, is you, can be a really good direction, a compass, if you like, to find out where you are. But also it should be something that puts a smile on your face and makes you feel good. Because guess what? If you woke up this morning on this brilliant sunshiny day and thought, I really hate my life, probably not in a good place. Pretty fair to say. Do you not think?
Yes, definitely need to find your why if that was the first statement in your head this morning.
Yeah, and if it's the same statement in your head every day, then why? My question is, are you not doing something different? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you do need some help in finding your why, or if you do need some help in terms of, why are you feeling like you are like right now, then please contact us. Either, put something in the chat box below, or, PM us, because, life is too short. What did we hear yesterday? Alex Ferguson, I think, got rushed into hospital. And even though, I'm not a Man United fan, it's still a human being, and it's just things like that where you go, wow, or when you hear on the news that someone's died, and like, wow, that person was only this young. Life is relatively short, even for those people who lived over 100. 100 years, not very long, really. What's Marva saying? Yes, she's saying yes. Knowing the triggers can help you to overcome the fear. Exactly, you have to have awareness of where you are. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marion. What else would you like to add before we go off into the sunshine?
Going to enjoy the sunshine. So why is it so important to know my why? Well, I mean, I just think as a summary, it really does help you to feel better about yourself. Love you too, Marva. Thank you for your comments and joining in with us today. So yeah, it really is about learning how to become more of you, like more of you, value more of you. So it increases self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, because when you know that something has a purpose and a meaning, then it just helps you to put a lot more energy behind it, and a lot more motivation behind it as well. And I think there are many days when a lot of us could be a bit more motivated. So knowing that you're really moving positively towards something that makes you feel better helps everybody around you. How could you not be positive about it?
Exactly. Does it put a smile on your face? And if it doesn't, does it put a
grimace?
A grimace, yes. That's why our FindYourWHY logo has got a smiley face. Yeah, you'll be happy all the time. Well, not all the time, of course, at times when you're not happy, but overall, it helps you to be happy for the majority of the time, which means that you are living the life that you want to, because you want to have fun like Dr. Maz, or you want to help others like me, or you want to help others like Dr. Maz and have fun at the same time. On this gorgeous day, and on this gorgeous day that we should be grateful to be alive, happy, healthy, and wealthy. Just remember to live, love, laugh every day. It's good evening from me.
And it's good evening from her.
Tomorrow we will be back with another why question.
See you tomorrow.
Another why question. Then please pop it in the chat box or PM us. We will be back tomorrow with another wise words of the day. Goodbye. Happy Valentine's Day.
See you tomorrow. Bye.